Assalamualaikum and hi to all my year 9 students. So for this week we continue with the factor theorem. I hope everybody can do the division of the polynomials. If you have any problem regarding that, please feel free to message me. So you need to make sure you are well versed with the division of polynomials before we can proceed to the factor theorem. Okay, so for this week I'm going to explain about how do we use the factor theorem in solving polynomials problems. First video I will explain about the theorem. The theorem is quite long, but I have shortened it a bit so that you guys can just understand the important part of it, and then I will show you examples for the first video, and then for the second video I'm going to explain maybe 2 questions from your exercise so that the rest of the question you can try to solve it on your own. Okay, so let's start. So the factor theorem states that for polynomials px simply means any equations with power more than 1. Okay, let's say you can have x squared plus 3 plus 2x, or you can have x cube minus 4x squared plus 3 and so on. So as long as you have x to power more than 1, so that is what we call polynomial. So for polynomial px, if PC equals to 0, C is just any number. C is just any number, okay? C is just any constant. We just use C to show that a value can be a general number. Then x minus C is a factor of Px. Okay, so it's very hard to understand if you just read the theorem. Okay, so the application of the theorem is something like this. I have one example here, okay? So example, this is the question, this is the polynomials. Px equals to x cubed minus 5x squared plus 8x minus 4. So you need to show that x minus 2 is a factor of Px. So how do we show this? Okay, so there's 2 methods in solving this. The first method is by using the long division method. Okay, so this is the question. Let me just keep it here. So that's the question. Okay, so the first method, I'm going to show you the long division method first. Okay, so long division method, when you want to show that x minus 2 is a factor of Px, you need to do the long division method, and you need to make sure when you do the long division method, you will end with 0, you will end with 0, 0 down here. So if you get another value which is not 0 here, means x minus 2 is not a factor. If it is a factor, then you need to end up with 0, 0. Good. So let's start with the long division method. X cubed minus 5x squared plus 8x minus 4. Okay, so here we have x minus 2. Okay, let's recap this again. You have learned this previously. So x cubed divided by x, you will get x squared over here. Multiply back, minus x cubed minus 2x squared. Okay, then just minus negative 5x squared plus 2x negative 3x squared plus 8x. Bring that down. Okay, and then negative 3x squared divided by x, negative 3x. Okay, and then minus 3x squared plus 6x. Okay, and then you will get go down a bit. Okay, so you will get here 2x minus 4. 2x divided by x, you should get plus 2 minus 2x minus 4. So you will end up with 0. Okay, so when you do long division method and your final answer at down here is 0, means x minus 2 is the factor. Okay, is a factor. Okay, so another method on how do we show this, shorter method, easier method, is by using the, what's my paper just now? Is by using the factor theorem. Okay, so what you need to do if you want to use the factor theorem is you just need to multiply, you just need to substitute into the equation. Okay, so we know that Px, this is from the question, okay, Px is equals to x cubed minus 5x squared plus 8x minus 4. Okay, we need to show that x minus 2 is a factor. Okay, what you need to do is you take x minus 2, you make it equals to 0. So your x now is equals to 2. Okay, you need to substitute this value inside here. Okay, and you need to make sure that you have 0. When you substitute inside here, you need to make sure that you end up with 0. Okay, so P, whenever I see x now, I substitute with 2. Whenever I see x, I substitute by 2. Equals to, now we have x cubed, right? So it's 2 cubed. Okay, minus 5 and then 2 square. Plus 8 and then we have 2 and then minus 4. Okay, let's quickly calculate this. 8 minus, that is just 4 times 5, 20, plus 16 minus 4. So 8 minus 20 is negative 12, plus 16 is 4. 4 minus 4 equals to 0. Okay, so this is how you show that x minus 2 is a factor of that polynomial. So which one is easier? This one or this one? Which one is easier? Okay, so which one is easier to use? The long division method or the factor theorem? Of course, it's the factor theorem is shorter. This one, there's a lot of careless mistake there's a potential of doing careless mistake here, but this one is quite easy. So whenever you need to show that one polynomial term is a factor of another polynomial, you just need to make sure you let your x be the subject. You get the value of x, you substitute the value of x back into the polynomials, and when you substitute back into the equation, you need to make sure you get a 0. So if you get a 0, so therefore x minus 2 is a factor of px. Okay, so that's how you show. This is very, very easy. Okay, so I have another example here. Okay, so this is taken from your worksheet, work example 4. Please refer to your worksheet. So you need to show that x minus 3 is a factor of x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. Okay, so you have two methods. You can use a long division or you can use the factor theorem. But if the question specifically asks you to use the factor theorem, so then you need to use the factor theorem. Okay, so usually the examiner or the question expect you to use the factor theorem lah, which is the shortest method. Okay, so how do we do this? First step, you take x minus 3, let it equals to 0. You let x be the subject, so now x is equals to 3. Substitute that value into your polynomial. So your polynomials is x power 3. So substitute 3 power 3 minus 6. Now 3 power 2 plus 11 and then we have 3 minus 6. Okay, let's quickly calculate. That is 27 minus 9 times 6 is, where's my calculator? 54 plus 33 minus 6k. Calculate that one, you will get 27 minus 54 plus 33 minus 6, you will get 0. So therefore x minus 3 is a factor of x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. Like that. Okay. Okay, so you let x be the subject, substitute that value into your polynomials, you calculate, you need to make sure you have 0. When you have 0, means that is a factor of your polynomial. Okay, so we are going to do 2 examples from the exercise question in the second video.